afternoon. My name is Odyssey. I'm going to be presenting a oral presentation on the need for more effective probation officers. Here in my audience today is Celeste T. Barnes and Rashad Wilson. And I want to thank y'all for coming today. I want to thank y'all for helping me with this presentation. First off, I'm going to dive into a little bit what we're going to be talking about. We're talking about the effectiveness of probation as a human resource tool that has been contested. Thus, a lot of controversy has been generated behind this issue about effectiveness of probation. And in order to be successful in probation, has to observe some legal framework producing seemingly openness and be clear and supportive procedure to new employees. And the purpose of probation is seen to be viewing and understanding of the job operations and requirements by new employees. It is targeted to helping them train up their new roles and demonstrate to their supervisors that they are the right people to be offered the job. Now, I'm going to define and be a slight overview of what probation is. This presentation is vividly presented as exclusive, arguing, evaluating how effective probation will be as a human resource management tool to recruit probation officers. Probation is defined as a process of integrating new employees into departmental office by observing and managing performances. A period is invested into training new employees to see are they fit for the job. Now, a little bit of the history on probation is that one of the earliest uses of probation within the realms of the criminal justice system dated back to 1841 when a Boston shoe cobbler named Augustus John persuaded the police court of Boston to release the drunkard to his custody. The police themselves were not happy with this type of arrangement since they were being paid and the drunkard people were incarcerated. But since this time in the history, probation has been formalized and incorporated into the judicial system. And it's agreeable for the current probation officers to prove to be more efficient than Augustus, but their effectiveness is yet to achieve the milestones. Now, going on to the role of probation officers, the purpose of the intensive probation supervision is geared towards the reduction of prison overcrowding. Now, moreover, it is aimed at maintaining family unity and relationship within society. It has been determined that probation takes forms like house arrest, community corrections, and electronic monitoring devices are required as a constant monitoring by probation officers. However, there have been reports of people, especially those who receive because of various habits they may engage in weeks or months after completion of probationary terms. Now, the issue of the effectiveness of probation officers will come into question over and over again. Probationers must put forth every effort they are to succeed in their probation. Moving on to the probationary process, as far as instances where the defendant is found guilty or pleads guilty to an offense, the judges will decide to put the person on a probationary condition, which is unless the probation officers are people who lose integrity and efficiency, then the process of probation will collapse, leading to the overcrowding of the jails. This is one of the reasons why we need effective probation officers to carry out these investigations that are used by the judges when considering probationary measures that allow probation officers to progress and as investigations go on. And the future of our probation department, according to the authors of the book, the ability of probation officers is for them to punish offenders by recommending sentencing them back to jail after personal differences have been addressed. And personal differences can be issues with their families, their relatives, not wanting the families to be involved in their probationary period. It's not a good thing because family does play a big role in big regulation for the probation officers to look back in their files and say, okay, their family were involved. The opponents of the probation as a corrective measure may argue against probationary rules at the time. Our study shows that 75% of probation officers' time is spent in other roles. The effectiveness of probation as a tool in reform of offenders will be dependent upon the legality of his term during which the position of probation is held. It brings me to cost of probation. As an expected personal cost in terms of incarceration of offenders is high, the same applies to the cost of probation, although it is considered cheaper than it was in the past years. The cost management of probation has a bearing on the taxpayers' money that can be used to do other development needs. Although the offenders under probation may pay some fees toward their rehabilitation and reform in terms of restitution and fines, there is a need to reconstruct probation to reduce the cost involved in its management. On the other hand, it is the duty of probation officers to determine the financial bearing of this process for probationers. Now going back to the cost of probation, a year, people don't believe that it's true that taxpayers are putting a hard portion of the money to house the police from year to year. That figure is in the number of $1 million a year. That's a large amount of money to spend the number of who's incarcerated per year. And the record keeping process, first of all, is the record keeping department seems somewhat disorganized when it comes to reflecting on the reluctance and efficiency of the probation officers. This loophole needs to be sealed through adequate documentation and intricate electronic software such as the data of progress of probationers can be easily retrievable and safe. Where the records of the probationers need to be updated on a daily and weekly basis. There is a need to give a limited access to the files since this is a delicate process. The communication may be for the progress needs to be changed so that there's aggressive communication in good time to avoid conflict between probation officers and offenders. Finally, the documentation on the achievement of probation officers and their successful delivery of complete with information on offenders needs to be kept on a record. This will enable their evaluation to eliminate redundancy, and this will inform the hiring of probation officers their past successes in taking this evidence of commit. Also, a training process for the probation officers need to be well put together into a brief document that focuses on improving skills and implementing the tolerance to work with offenders. In my conclusion, this paper has been focusing on presenting explosiveness argument, evaluating why we need more effective probation officers in the criminal justice system and even the correction facilities. Probation is a process of monitoring offenders under close proximity so as to enable them to settle towards behavior. The history of probation officers dates back to the 1800s or 1841 when a Boston shoe cobbler named Augustus John persuaded the police court, or Boston to police and drug activities custody. Probation takes on forms like house arrest, residential community, corrections, and electronic monitoring, which is a role for probation officers. The management role of probation officers involve allocation of certain tasks or duties with a definite period of probation officers are required to complete. Probation officers have given the probation process a lot of strengths, which includes stability within the family system. Probationers can continue to work while under probation and close monitoring of high-risk offenders as compared to low-risk offenders. And one of the shortcomings of probation officers is that there is an outcry about unfair referrals of probationers to jail terms arising in case of personal differences between the offenders, probation officers, and the probationer's relatives. By addressing the shortcomings of probation as a process, there is a serious need for effective probation officers. And that concludes my presentation. I thank y'all again for coming. I hope that there was some interest that you got out of the need for us having probation officers, since that's the next step I think that I'll be trying to go into once I finish and achieve my bachelor's degree. I'm trying to get a bit of probation. If not, then I'll go to the next field of law enforcement. Which I don't know what that is, but I'm going into another field of law enforcement once I get out of Department of Corrections. Thank you again for coming. I appreciate it.